Hey guys, Christy here, sitting with Mr. Coach Abels. We're going to sit here and talk about all things athletics and Hawley High School and middle school, because you're over middle school too, right, as AD? So thanks for tuning in. We're just going to get right at it, I guess. The first topic, and I may be completely wrong when I think about this way, but competitive sports versus recreational and players. So you've got players who just want to get out there and play. They don't want to go further, but then you've got athletes who want to go further. How is there a difference in coaching that and giving them playing time? How does that work?
It's kind of all the same. When I think of somebody that's competitive and wants to go the next level as a kid, that's going to put a little extra in away from what we do. And when I think of recreational, it's more of a I do this because it's fun and I get to hang out with my buddies and this and that. It's kind of how I look at that. We really treat them all the same. Of course, if somebody wants to go play at another level, there's a lot of recruiting and reaching out to coaches and coaches reaching out to you. So that's really the only difference in that. So
Yeah. So I know a lot of times, like, there's a lot of kids standing on the sidelines waiting to go in. How do you guys is and my husband's like, high school sports is competitive atmosphere, right?
right,
Well, if a kid doesn't have that competitiveness in them, their parents might,
right.
but they don't, and they're okay standing on the sidelines. Like, is that been a problem? Is it, how do you manage that?
Uh, I mean, it, I guess kind of it goes by who's going to help you on Friday and who's going to help you on Thursday. You kind of have to. It's hard because when you're trying to figure out who's going to be on varsity, who's going to be on JV, because there's a lot of factors that play into it. You got to figure out, is it going to be more beneficial for him to play a lot more on the JV, or is it going to be beneficial for him to be able to fill in when I need him on a Friday night field or a varsity game? So it's tough. It's something that it's not just me that decides. We sit down as a staff and we say, hey, what do you think about this kid? I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
talk about almost every kid we have every day. So,
Yeah.
and
And we're
you're
not just talking football. I'm
right,
talking about
right,
cross, yeah,
yeah, and
softball and everything.
you're trying to figure out the. I mean, it's tough sometimes to figure out exactly where that kid fits in, and is he going to help you? Is he going to help you get through a game on Friday if you have injuries or you need him for special teams, and what's his role, and or his role bigger on Thursday night playing JV to get him ready for Friday night? So it's just it's something that we assess, and we assess it almost on a daily basis by what we see in practice, and the attitude of the kid. And there's been instances where we've talked about moving a kid up, and then all of a sudden he misses a workout or misses a practice for some reason, and it kind of scrambles it all up, and you got to revisit it again. So it's tough sometimes.
Yeah. So let's talk of that missing practice is something that's on here, during spring breaks or during summer, or kids that have to hold a job.
Right.
So how do you wage that level of commitment versus they have to have a job according to mom and
Right.
dad?
Well, we in the summertime we know that kids go on vacations, and church camp. There's about the second or third week in summer workouts. There's church camp, and we
Mm-hmm.
know it's going to be kind of a ghost town, and we just basically tell them, hey, if you can be here, be here.
Yeah.
And you can tell the ones that I think you can kind of tell the ones that are saying they can't be here if they're genuine or
Actually,
not.
yeah.
So and that's just, I mean, it's constant communication with those kids and us too. If you're not going to be here, let us know. If we have somebody that's here almost every day and then all of a sudden they don't show up, we kind of worry about them and reach out. But there's some that are hit or miss, and it's just kind of in the summer especially, you never know how many you're going to have. We'll start the summer with over 100, and when vacations and Fourth of July, we usually give them that Fourth of July week off, but vacations and church camps and all that hit at the same time, we may only have 30 here. So
Yeah.
it's just it's juggling everything.
Yeah.
We most of our coaches have kids, so we're juggling that too, so we know what it's like.
Yeah. It makes me think of, and how hard it is to tell, because some parents can't get their kids here.
Right.
Some kids walk onto the field, some kids run onto the field, and all these things that people don't see, and they think their kids are the greatest,
Right.
and then they don't get to play. Like, that's always a hard balance, something I hear about a lot, a complaint of kids and or of parents. And it's how I played sports. So I played softball, soccer, basketball, and tennis. So I'm competitive. But some people don't have a competitive gene, but they're just naturally good at what they
Right.
do. So it's like always plug and play, trying to figure out what's best for the team, right? So winning at a high school level, what does that do for a school? What is that top one, two, three importance or development, or all the things you learn outside of the ball, outside of the sport on the field? Like, how do you prioritize that?
Well, I think the priority there, it just depends on what level. At a varsity level, it's you want to win. You want to put the best team out there that can win a game for you. And then the JV level, it's more about development. And then the junior high, it's about getting them all in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard sometimes too. But I mean, there's so much change from a junior high kid to when he's a senior that it's. I mean, you don't really want to keep a kid from playing when he's a seventh grader because he's uncoordinated. He's got feet that are twice the size of the rest of his body, and then you tell that kid, hey, you find something else to do. And then when he's a senior in high school, he's 6'4" and a pretty good player. So I think it's just the competition that you're playing, whether it's varsity, JV, junior high, whatever. It's all different on every level.
Yeah. And so, do you coaches meet all across softball, tennis, basketball?
Well, I don't really want to coach my coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I basically tell them my door's open. If you have, I mean, it's your team. If you need me, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually haven't had to get too involved with the other sports as far as that goes. So, I mean, I trust my coaches. I've had to sit in on some meetings and stuff here and there, but not a whole lot. So I trust them to do the right thing and do what's right for the kids and their program.
Gotcha. I was wondering how that accountability went.
No.
As far as once you hire them, it's like, okay, here you go, softball's yours.
Right.
Is that how it
Yeah,
kind of
I mean, you
works?
put them in charge. That's their deal, and I'm here if you need me,
Yeah.
and let's roll.
So if a parent has a concern and they go to one of your coaches, like, that's the first step, obviously,
Right,
is to try to, well, first step, in my opinion, is to have your child talk to your coach.
right,
Keep that open line of conversation there. And if there's things that still aren't getting heard, then they go to their parents and the parents come to the coach.
right.
There's a 24-hour rule. Did y'all just invoke that, or has that always been?
Well, it's kind of in writing now, I guess. It's kind of always been kind of my rule anyway. Is I need 24 hours to cool off.
Mm-hmm.
You need 24 hours to cool off, and
Mm-hmm.
it kind of cooler heads prevail, that kind of deal. And it's you never want to talk to a parent right after a game. It's just tough.
Emotions are high.
Your emotions are high. You're probably out of character if it was a close game or a loss or an emotional game. And it's just a good rule to have. Is let's talk about this
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
next day.
For sure. I mean, that's with anything
Right.
across life, right? Husband and wives,
Right.
mom and dad. Yeah. So chain of command obviously is go to the coach.
Right.
If they can't get anywhere with the coach, come
Yeah,
to
and
you.
the worst thing that we want to hear is as a coach, as a parent wants to talk to you and they say, please don't let my kid know that I was here.
Yeah.
That kind of puts us in a bad spot. And I feel bad for the kid. And I mean, it's just everybody needs to be involved in the conversation, kid, parent, and coach.
That's the team.
Right.
That's the ultimate team. It's hard. I can't imagine some of the family dynamics that y'all run into, as staff, all staff here, and it's hard not to overstep that boundary or to try to lead the kid, because you don't Yeah, that's a fine line between what
Right.
parents want for their kids and what's right for their kids and what coaches want for their kids, right?
No doubt. And something else that if everything was perfect, they would, the kid would come to us and the parent would come to us and not go straight over our head, to a principal or a superintendent or something like that. We want to try to keep it. I don't want I don't want my boss to have to deal with my issues if I can handle the issue.
Especially
But
if you don't know about it yet.
right, if somebody goes straight to my boss, then it's like I didn't have a chance to fix the problem, and I feel like I'm not doing my job.
Yeah, true. So you said to if a kid's going to win for you. So what does winning do for the school? Like when we won state,
Mhm.
there was rumors going around, oh, we're going to get money to fix this, this, this. What does it actually mean to
You,
have a winning team in high school sports?
well, we talk to our kids all the time about we're playing for the name that's across the front of the jersey instead of individual. We want to be a team, and that team that we play for is the people in the town itself. And I think it's just a pride deal. I mean, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, I mean, people are going to forget about us winning a state championship. So it's more of the winning's more what happens inside the kids, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They know what it's like to win. They know what it's like to be a part of it, and it's just more of a pride thing, I think, for the kids.
Yeah. So it doesn't mean financial gain for the school.
Not necessarily. No, not necessarily.
So, what are the expectations? So, if the kid's like, I'm on JV, what do I have to work for to get the varsity? Like, what are the expectations of the kids from the coaching staff?
We want our ultimate goal is to get everybody from that JV spot on the varsity field. That's kind of our goal, and that's we look at that, and that's how we figure out who's on JV and who's not on JV, as well as we think, well, this guy can help us right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it may be a small role, but if he can help us, and our philosophy is if they can help us in any way win a game, they'll be playing on Fridays instead of Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same point, we try to get that JV because we know they're the next guys in line.
Mm-hmm.
We try to get them as ready to play on Fridays. So it's just kind of one of those that process, I guess.
Yeah. So, is the synergy of the team? So, how is it when you rotate players out and they don't play together a lot? That synergy as a team, is that important too, or is it?
It is, but that's something that the kids just kind of have to learn. I mean, when they're seniors, the team's going to look a lot different with the makeup of the team than when they were a junior or a
Mm-hmm.
sophomore or a freshman. And we've I would love to just have a set offense or a set defense to play every year in and year out, but you have different kids year in and year out, so you got to change things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a dynamic that changes almost daily, weekly, yearly, however you want to look at it.
Yeah. So, teaching them to be flexible is a big thing. Um, let's see. This one, I probably can't converse with you on this last question because I know enough about football and I just love seeing my favorite part about sports, okay, is I love it when a plan comes together. So when the synergy is really important to me personally because I'm all about everybody has a spot, they have a purpose, and then when you all work in your lane and your purpose, it comes together
Right,
and that it's a well-oiled machine, right?
right.
So with football, I don't know all the different. I mean, I know the positions, but this question about can we bring back a fullback position,
Right.
you can answer that for whoever asked that, but I probably can't ad lib to that.
Well, the fullback position is something that it's evolved a lot. We use a fullback, but we don't call it a fullback
Yeah.
because we call it more of an H back. I don't know. I mean, it's a glorified fullback, but I'm not sure,
What they
where the
mean.
H back came from. But
Oh.
we do use a fullback. But it's a person that can move around to a lot of different spots.
Mm-hmm.
Our H back, our fullback is usually a tight end, running back, can play inside receiver. It's just somebody that we move around all over the place.
Well, and I was talking to Chris this morning about it, and I think I wonder if it's because I mean, they're high school kids.
Right.
You don't have a lot of big dudes in
Right.
Hawley, Texas, so that might be a little bit. AC was like the big
Right.
dude.
Well, I remember before Austin played, we had Colton Marshall, and we were huge. I mean, we even have and playing high school is about having fun too. And we had a formation where the only person that had a skill number was the running back that caught the snap, and we put every lineman we had in the game, and they called it Beefmaster Blast. And they had so much fun when we call that formation. They get so excited, and
Yeah.
it was just, we're gonna try to run right over you, try to stop us. So
Yeah.
we had a lot of fullbacks in the game in that one.
That's fun. So what's new in Hawley sports? We've got staff changes and stuff.
We do. We on the football side of things, Justin Wiley and his family's coming. He was the head coach in Abernathy last year. I've known him for a long time. We went to a couple years at Hardin Simmons together. Great guy, great family. Glad to have them here. We hired a new girls basketball coach, Casey Bryant, and she's bringing her family. She was actually on campus and got to meet the girls yesterday. So
Awesome.
we're really excited about that and feel like our program's going in the right direction.
Good. Let's see. What else? I think we've already hit all of my questions. Really. What do you want? So, how can a parent help you as an athletic director and your coaching staff? Like, what's the best thing a parent can do for their kid?
Well, I think probably the best thing a parent can do is, we know as coaches, we've done this for so long, we know when a parent is saying negative things to a kid because by what the kid says.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing for a parent can do when that kid's at home for dinner that night is just say, "I sure do like watching you play."
Yeah.
And it would. I think it would help. It would make them feel better about it. It would make our job easier. And when there's just certain things a kid can say, and that they got it from somewhere. And I just feel like at dinner table, it's a time to fellowship with your family and tell your kid how much you enjoy watching them play. And I think big time positive, if something like that was to happen, it would be changing.
Yeah. That was something I did think about talking about, and especially officials and refs, yells from the stands, the fine line between a parent encouraging their kid to go out there and play and do their best and coaching from the stands.
Right.
Like when parents coach from the stands, it completely negates your authority as a coach sometimes too, and that's confusing to a kid.
It is, and we try to tell our kids all the time, hey, I'm your coach when you're playing here, and just listen to me. And sometimes it turns into a distraction for that kid.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got 4 or 5 people telling him how to do this, how to do that, and it just basically our philosophy versus their philosophy, and it definitely leads to confusion on a kid. So just enjoy watching the kid play, and because soon you'll be like me. I got one play in his senior year this next year, and he'll be gone. So, I'm just, and I actually went and watched Keegan practice this morning at Hardin Simmons at 6. And the last thing I said to him, man, I sure do like you watching you do what you do and having fun. And, that's what it's all about. Just watching your kid have fun. And pretty soon he's not going to be doing it anymore. So,
yeah. Well, and that's, we want parents to work with their kids at home. When I want the kid to be confident enough in their coach too, that, this is how coach told us to do it. Things change. We're not doing the same things we did when we were kids. So I think that's important for parents to remember too, is if you work with the kid off of the field and the kid's like, well, this isn't how the coach told me to do it, he wants me to do it this way, then we should respect your authority in that, because there's a lot of things that go behind coaching an entire team that as athletes, what we remember as kids
Right.
is not in the same spectrum. It's not in the same area.
Yeah, and I do feel like our staff here is very good. I feel like we're very experienced. I feel like we know what we're talking about, and I feel like softball, baseball, we have, football, we have guys that and girls that have played it at a collegiate level, and I mean, we know what we're doing. So just get behind us and let's make this thing as good as we can.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So you've got the sports banquet coming up. This is the first year I'm not at the sports banquet. I don't have a kid there. So let me ask you this, because we talked about this too when I first started doing basketball for HYA, and we talked about camps.
Right.
But my hardest part is getting people to help to run camps. And
Right.
then as coaching in the elementary level, like, we're just parents that hadn't been through coaches training. So how can we help build athletes from the elementary level?
Well, I think our PE teachers they can kind of, start us off, and it's just a process, the at that elementary age, it's all about fundamentals and stuff, if we can get somebody in middle school that knows how to throw and catch, then I mean, that's so much better than having somebody that may know something a little more but can't throw and catch,
Yeah.
and
But there's a place on the team
right,
for them.
there is.
Yeah.
There definitely is. But it's kind of like we've got kids going on Saturdays. We've got all age groups out there on that football field playing. And I think it's about competing with your buddies and having fun and just learning the fundamentals. And when they get to us, then we can kind of advance it a little bit.
So that brings up another thing that I had thought about, is healthy competition versus the word, I hate the word bullying
Right.
or segregation between, the levels of athleticism. What's the process as a coaching staff when you recognize things that are healthy and not? How do you keep them in the reins of healthy competition and not fair play?
Oh, I think by the time they get to high school, it's in a better spot anyway. But it's just you got to correct it as soon as it happens and try to get them. Hey, that's not right. This is the way we need to do this. And but by the time they're high school, we have enough kids, I think, that are coaches on the field
Mm-hmm.
and can correct a lot of that in the locker room from the kids' standpoint. They take care of it before we need to. Sometimes, hey, that's not right,
Mm-hmm.
and it is tough sometimes, but it's just about trying to correct it as soon as it happens and try to point them in the right direction.
Yeah. And I think too that deciding on whether or not to make cuts or make a JV team and have all these extra players. I've had conversation with people where it's hard to say if it's better to have that cut and
Right.
have that disappointment and walk away one time versus being on the team and not being selected for game week after week. Like, what goes in? How do you decide whether to make cuts or not? Because cuts aren't normally a thing in Hawley.
Right. Well, football wise, we haven't ever really had to do it because I mean you have 11 offensive guys, 11 defensive guys, and plenty of special teams to plug people in, and we hadn't really had to do it. But it does. I know it does make it tough and a lot of it is we're in districts with schools that don't have as many kids playing as we do. I know volleyball. We have 3 high school teams and probably 4 middle school teams every year, but people we play only have 2 middle school teams.
Yeah.
So it makes it tough, and we try everything we can to try to keep them out and keep them playing and try to get them better. But sometimes it's just hard to find games,
Yeah.
and then you got to figure out, well, is it worth putting that time in knowing that they're not going to play, or it's tough. It really does make it tough.
It's a small town sports problem.
Yeah.
It's probably not just us.
Right.
It's all everywhere. Yep. Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to tell the parents? Like, what else? No,
I
just
just, I mean, I can give a parent the guarantee that we're going to take care of their kids.
yeah,
So,
yeah, the best interest in
yeah,
mind. That's good. Well, I appreciate your
yep.
time. I know it's busy spring. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Next video will be the principal and assistant principal here at the high school. So tune in for that too. And don't forget to send in your questions because I can only dream up as much conversation as
Right.
my little bubble allows. So if you've got questions or concerns, Coach already said he's got an open door. His staff is the same way. Reach out to the coach. If you're not getting answers, reach out to Coach Abels and let's all remember that we're all on the same team. It takes
Absolutely.
this village to raise good kids, and that's the ultimate mission. So thanks for tuning in.